I'm Jane Elkanini, the Deputy Supervisor of the town of Memaroneck, and I'm incredibly excited to welcome you here today. This project has been so many years in the making, and it's finally here. Those of you who know me know that this rink is one of my favorite places in the town, maybe the planet. And do you guys know why I love this rink so much? There are many reasons, but one of them is it serves the community. It gives us all a place for recreation and fun. The solar panels on the roof provide low-cost green energy to low and moderate income families in our community. And now that we have the showers, the community room qualifies as a shelter in case or when we have another storm like Ida. But the other reason that I love this rink so much is that it creates a community. Generations of you come back, you grow up, you leave, and you come back to the rink. And it binds us all together as a community and as people. Take, for example, two families that I hope are here today. The Thompsons and the Webbler Mays. Is anyone here from those families? Take a bow. These families have been actively participating in this rink for over 3 generations. They grew up here, they skated through all the programs, rec, MYHA, the high school, and then they came back and they coached. And John Thompson, John, where are you? Don't hide. There's John. John has run the men's league for 35 years. 35. Let's give him a hand. You can't be older than me.
I started at 15.
And just 2 years ago, he passed the puck on to his son, Steve, who now runs the men's league. And then we have Chris Webbler. Chris started the first girls hockey team in this town, and I don't know, the county, when her daughter Erin, are you here? There she is, when Erin was in high school. And then Chris also started the first moms program that Erin has now taken over. And let's talk about the icebreaker tournament. This is looked forward to for an entire year by the men. It's a combination of a family reunion in Woodstock. The men come, they bring their grandparents, their parents, their siblings, their spouses, their kids, and maybe even a grandchild or two. They all hang out. Dan Demasi supplies food and music, and it's like peace, love, and hockey for 3 days. And by the way, they raised $100,000 to the completion of this project. And speaking of community, this project is an example of the community that it took to make it happen. It did start with Dan Demasi, who I think in the whole 10 years that I've been on the town board didn't miss a week nagging me for the need for showers for the men. Then Brendan Collins, where's Brendan? There he is, the president of MYHA, let's clap for Brendan, alerted the town to the fact that fully 1/3 of his players were girls. And by the way, they went to the Nationals this year, the first team ever in Memaroneck. But there were no locker rooms for them, so they were changing in the halls and the lobby. Not a good situation. And then Jill Fisher, our superintendent of recreation. Jill, let's clap for Jill a lot. Jill thought this was a perfect opportunity to have increased interior space for the summer camp programs. And the whole project was supported from its inception by the Recreation Commission led by Jim Drucker. Jim, are you here? And I have a sheaf of resolutions approving this project to attest to that. And then the town board got involved. Nancy Seligson, our supervisor. Nancy, are you here? Nancy and Jeff King and Abby Cox, who got together and funded the project, hired consultants and architect, and involved our town staff. Rich Polcari, our building inspector, and Rob Rost, our engineer. Finally, we formed a locker room committee composed of 4 men, all hockey players, and 2 architects. That's Dan Demasi, Brendan Collins, Niall Duggan, and Alex Eny. Yes, we're related. And they worked endless hours with Rob, with Steve Altieri, with the staff, working on the design to see it to completion. And last but not least, Rob Lundy. Rob, no project, let's clap a lot for no project in this rink since about 1980 has ever been completed without some of Rob's blood, sweat, and tears, and this project was certainly no different. He did all of the finishing work by himself. So I want to thank everybody who had a part in this joyous day today, because it certainly took a town. Thank you. Now I'd like to call Dan Demasi to give us a few words.
Thank you, Jane. That's quite the hard act to follow, but thank you very much. I think what Jane said was quite accurate, that it does take a full community. MYHA, going back to the original MYHA board, which I believe John Thompson was a part of, Dick Leahy, Brian Devaney, Jim Gross, Don Kerr. I'm forgetting a couple, Ms. Webler. Who else am I forgetting? That the original MYHA in 1994 started. Peter Biacco. They all kind of the foundations that built everything that you guys have here in front of you. And then also the past MYHA presidents, which were Jim Cody, Don Kerr, Mike Loga, and the present Brendan Collins over there, who gets a lot of kudos for kind of making the lockers from what we had originally envisioned to what they are today. So Brendan gets a lot of kudos from everybody else. You know, hockey's probably the only sport, which I could honestly say, obviously hockey is a favorite sport of everybody here. I can honestly say that, but hockey's probably the only sport that we can say that you play for everybody else on the bench except for yourself. The people on the bench next to you are more important than your own uniform name and number. And I think that says something for the community, which Jane had mentioned, which is that kind of everybody, even though there were a couple people that took the lead, everybody here is responsible for the project that was completed behind us. And specifically, the town board, everybody, Nancy Seligson, Jeff, everybody that's behind us. And where's Niall and Alex and Brendan could not have done it without you guys. It's been a very long process, and it took a couple of years, maybe 1 or 2 years, and we finally got it done. And I think that it was definitely all about the teamwork that made this project successful. So now we get to stand behind us and all enjoy the fruits of everybody's labors here. And I will call out Jane Eny, who is pretty much the person that I have, as she said, egged on and said, come on, we need this. This is the best facility in Westchester. Let's keep it the best facility. Let's always be ahead of the ball, not behind it. And I think that she deserves a special round of applause. So, thank you everybody for coming. I think everybody. I don't know if everybody's all seen the locker rooms. If you haven't, they are spectacular. As Jane mentioned before, absolutely none of this gets done without Rob Lundy, and the man will never take full credit for it. Right there, he will never take full credit for it, but absolutely deserves the lion's share. And so going forward, the icebreaker has already been confirmed for April 28, 29, 30, and May 1st. Thanks again to these people back here. And Patty Boyle and I don't know if Steve Light came here, who've always been instrumental in helping me organize that. Dave Anderson, Brett Jackson, and a couple other people. The list is probably too long. I want to thank them all for helping out with everything, and appreciate everybody coming out.
Now I'd like to call Nancy Seligson, our town supervisor, to give us a few words.
Thanks, Jane. Thank you to Dan. Thank you to all the volunteers all the staff that have put in so much time and effort into this project. And I guess we have to thank Dan Demasi for bothering Jane all the time about it, who then bothered the town board all the time about it. There's very few times that we get to be with Jane where she doesn't mention her son Alex and hockey. We know that she fell in love with hockey at an early age with Alex, and that it has colored her experience in the town in such a positive way. She's put her heart and soul into this project. And we all asked her to stop once we said yes. She was having a hard time taking yes as an answer. But we're very glad that she did, and we want to thank everyone who's put so much of their effort into this project. Hey, let's continue playing great hockey in the town of Memaroneck. We are a draw for the entire region for hockey, and we are known for that, and that's a really special asset to have in our community. And it's great that we can have this wonderful rink. It's great that it has solar panels on it. It's great that people know us for it, and I, again, just want to thank everyone for all the effort they've put into it.
Thank you, Nancy. Now I'd like to call Shelley Meyer, our state senator.
Thank you, Jane. I feel like we should have the champagne and hit the locker rooms, but I take no credit. Credit to everyone who made this happen. Jane has been relentless in talking about it, but to all of you who really made it happen and to all the volunteers, thank you. This is a shining example of what communities do when they pull together. So thank you and congratulations. I got to improve my hockey.
Okay, now I'm going to ask everybody from the town board, the Recreation Committee, the Recreation Commission, the Men's Locker Room Committee, Rob Lundy, the staff, to get behind the ribbon so we can cut it.